Your grocery store is about to look shockingly different, and it's happening sooner than you think. By April 2025, millions of shoppers across the U.S. could be staring at empty shelves where everyday essentials used to be. No, this isn't some distant warning. It's already begun. In fact, 68% of grocery suppliers are already raising red flags about critical shortages. Those supply chain problems you've been hearing about? They're no longer just headlines. They're about to land squarely in your kitchen. I've been digging through reports from top food distributors, supply chain analysts, and agricultural experts. And honestly, what I discovered shook me. We're not talking about specialty items or imported luxuries. These are basic groceries, the kind you use every single day to feed your family. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 10 grocery items that are vanishing fast, and more importantly, what you can do right now to stay ahead of the chaos before it's too late. This isn't fear-mongering. It's not about panic buying. It's about staying prepared, because once the masses catch on, it'll be a frenzy. Trust me, item number 3 left even me speechless. Let's start with number 10, because this one is already turning into a crisis. Number 10. The olive oil disaster. No one saw coming olive oil. The golden liquid we drizzle on bread, whisk into dressings, and use in almost every home-cooked meal. It's turning into a luxury product, and fast. What's happening right now in southern Europe is devastating. The region is facing its worst drought in over 50 years. Spain, Italy, and Greece, countries that produce more than 70% of the world's olive oil, are watching their harvests collapse. In some areas, yields are down by a staggering 60%. This isn't just a seasonal dip. It's a full-blown agricultural emergency that's hitting the global supply chain like a wrecking ball. And yes, you've probably already noticed. That $15 bottle of extra virgin olive oil? It's now $25. And heading toward $40, if you can find it at all. One of my friends recently had to visit 3 different grocery stores just to find a single bottle. And sadly, that's becoming the new normal. Even more heartbreaking, some of the ancient olive groves in places like Andalusia and Tuscany, trees that have produced olives for centuries, are dying from heat stress and a total lack of water. Major grocery chains like Costco, Kroger, and Whole Foods are already limiting how many bottles customers can buy. Behind the scenes, I spoke to a regional manager from one chain who told me off the record, "We're expecting completely empty shelves by April. Our suppliers simply can't deliver." And it's not just home cooks feeling the heat. Restaurants are scrambling too. A local Italian chef I know, Chef Marco, told me they're redesigning their entire menu just to cope with skyrocketing olive oil costs. But here's something even more alarming: fraud. With prices soaring and supplies shrinking, fake olive oil is flooding the market again. Experts warn that by spring 2025, up to 30% of olive oil on store shelves could be counterfeit. Want to protect yourself? Real extra virgin olive oil gives a slight peppery burn at the back of your throat. If it tastes too smooth or buttery, it might be diluted or fake. Yes, even those fancy imported bottles aren't always what they seem. So what should you do? First, don't hoard, but consider grabbing an extra bottle or 2 if olive oil is something you use often. And start thinking about alternatives now. Avocado oil has similar health benefits and a high smoke point. The good news? California growers are increasing production to meet demand. Grapeseed oil is another excellent option for cooking. It's heat-stable and has a neutral flavor. Personally, it's my go-to for sautéing and stir-frying. For dressings, try walnut or pumpkin seed oil. I recently made a salad with a walnut oil vinaigrette that had everyone at the table asking for the recipe. Some specialty stores still have a decent supply, but it won't last long. The olive oil crisis isn't coming. It's already here. And what's next on this list? Trust me, it only gets more intense from here. Perfect. Here's the rewritten Section 2, following your same request. Improved flow, polished grammar, expressive tone, suspenseful build-up, and unique added value. I've kept it YouTube-friendly, natural, and informative with a clear emotional arc to keep viewers hooked. They're charging premium prices now, and it's only going to get worse. Strangely enough, your best bet right now might be those smaller, family-owned grocery stores that source their stock locally. Just last week, I found a bottle of good quality olive oil at a small neighborhood market, something the big chains didn't have at all. But let's be real, this isn't a short-term hiccup. The experts I've spoken to don't expect any meaningful improvement until late 2025, if weather conditions start to normalize. That's a big if. So brace yourself. Your beloved Mediterranean diet just got a lot more complicated. And if you've ever thought about taking a cooking class that focuses on olive oil, or trying that special recipe you've been putting off, now is the time. Because this kitchen staple is quickly becoming a luxury, one that many families may soon not be able to afford. Now, let's move to number 9, and this one hits close to home, especially if you're the kind of person who can't start their day without a steaming hot cup of coffee. Number 9. The coffee crisis. You didn't see coming. Picture this. It's April 1st, 2025. You wake up groggy, eyes half closed, reaching for your morning cup of comfort. But when you get to the grocery store, there's nothing. No beans, no grounds, no pods, just empty shelves where your coffee used to live. Sounds dramatic? It's not. Because this coffee crisis is already brewing, and it's more serious than most people realize. Here's what's happening. A perfect storm of climate disasters, distribution breakdowns, and corporate power moves is squeezing the global coffee supply like never before. Let's start with Brazil, the world's largest producer of Arabica beans, the smooth, rich variety most of us drink every day. They're facing one of the worst droughts in recent history. Crop yields are down over 12%, and while that might not seem like a huge number, consider this. Brazil produces a third of all the world's coffee. No rain means no beans. And no beans? Big problem. Meanwhile, over in Vietnam, the top source of Robusta beans, which are used in instant coffees and espresso, the story's just as bad. Scorching heat and bizarre rainfall patterns are devastating farms. And when you mix in the unpredictable swings of El Niño, coffee growers across the globe are struggling to survive. But this isn't just about weather. It's about access. You see, big-name coffee companies, the ones who stock your favorite stores, are already rationing where their limited supply goes. In Europe, some grocery chains have already reported empty coffee sections. Others are cutting back orders or focusing only on more profitable regions. Translation: everyday shoppers are getting left behind. And if you're a fan of premium coffee, single-origin beans, organic roasts, specialty blends, brace yourself. These beans come from very specific regions with unique climates. And once those environments break down, there's no easy replacement. When they're gone, they're gone. Even Sam Cass, the former White House chef, recently issued a warning. Climate change is pushing coffee toward luxury status. And that means your usual $10 bag of beans? It could soon cost as much as your entire lunch. Here's the scariest part. Most people won't see it coming. Right now, the shelves might still look okay. But behind the scenes, prices are quietly rising, supplies are shrinking, and your daily caffeine fix is slowly slipping away. So what can you do? Start by stocking up, especially if you have a favorite roast. Grab a few extra bags and store them properly in airtight containers in a cool, dark place. Coffee can last months if stored right. And it's not about panic. It's about smart planning. You might also want to explore alternatives, like chicory blends or caffeine substitutes, just in case. I've even seen people switch to mushroom coffee blends for a natural boost without the crash. Because here's the truth. Coffee isn't just a beverage. It's a ritual, a comfort, a moment of calm before the chaos of the day begins. But if these trends continue, that morning ritual could become a rare treat, something once affordable, now reserved for only the lucky few. And this is just the beginning. Coming up next, item number 8, and it's a crushing blow for seafood lovers. If you've got a favorite fish dish, you might want to sit down for this one. And it gets worse. Just days ago, the European Union announced emergency fishing bans on Atlantic cod, starting next month. That means U.S. importers are scrambling to secure whatever limited supply is left. But here's the thing, shelves are already running dry. I spoke with a Whole Foods manager, and what they said chilled me. We're getting less than half our usual cod shipments, and that's on a good day. And now, let's talk shrimp, because the situation there is downright alarming. A newly spreading bacterial disease is ripping through shrimp farms across Southeast Asia. Thailand alone has lost nearly 60% of its shrimp production just since January. Those $8.99 frozen bags of shrimp you used to grab without thinking? They're now going for $17.99, if you can even find them. Most stores are only stocking a handful of bags, and they're gone within hours. But here's a bit of hope. Not all seafood is vanishing. Farm tilapia and catfish supplies are still stable, and U.S. aquaculture companies are ramping up trout production to help fill the growing gap. Some smart shoppers are even discovering Arctic char, a sustainable fish that tastes surprisingly similar to salmon, but without the current shortages. Canned tuna is holding on, for now. Prices are climbing, but availability should hold steady at least through summer. So here's the move. If you see wild-caught fish at a reasonable price, don't wait. Buy it, freeze it properly, and thank yourself later. Because this seafood shortage, it's not getting fixed anytime soon. And come April, millions of people will be left with empty freezers and no backup plan. Now, if you thought that was bad, number 7 is going to hurt your sweet tooth. Number 7. The chocolate collapse. No one's ready for your favorite chocolate bars might soon become nothing more than a sweet memory. Right now, a devastating fungal disease called cacao swollen shoot virus is tearing through West Africa, wiping out up to 40% of cocoa crops in Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. These two countries alone produce over 60% of the world's cocoa. The disease is moving twice as fast as scientists predicted just 6 months ago, and the damage is already being felt across the supply chain. But the virus isn't the only problem. Behind the scenes, chocolate producers are also facing a massive labor crisis. Why? New international laws are finally cracking down on exploitative labor practices that some companies have relied on for decades. In fact, just last month, 3 major chocolate corporations were hit with $215 million in fines for labor violations, forcing them to urgently seek ethical suppliers. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. It's not the luxury chocolates that will vanish first. Those high-end brands? They've already locked in long-term contracts with premium suppliers and are willing to pay top dollar. It's the everyday chocolates, the Hershey's, Cadbury, and Mars bars, that are about to disappear. Industry insiders are calling it the chocolate middle-class extinction. These mid-range brands don't have the margins to compete, and they're being outbid, left and right. Things are already unraveling. Several major chocolate festivals planned for spring 2025 have been canceled. And one chocolate maker I spoke with admitted they've started quietly reformulating their recipes, replacing real cocoa with fillers, just to stretch their supplies. But even that won't last. And here's where it gets scary. Climate change is only making it worse. Rising temperatures are forcing cacao farmers uphill into smaller and smaller growing zones. It's a race against time, and the hilltop space is running out. Experts now predict chocolate prices could jump 75% by April. So if you enjoyed a heart-shaped box of chocolates this past Valentine's Day, it might have been the last affordable one you see for years. If you're a chocolate lover, I'm telling you, stock up now. Not because of panic, but because, like everything else on this list, most people won't realize what's happening until it's already too late. And this brings us to number 6, a silent crisis that's about to shake your morning routine to its core. Number 6, dairy is drying up. That carton of milk in your fridge? The cream cheese for your bagel? The Parmesan for your pasta? They might all be gone by next month. It's not hype. It's happening. By late April, experts say cream cheese and certain artisan cheeses will be nearly impossible to find. So if that charcuterie board is part of your spring or summer plans, now's the time to stock up. According to the American Dairy Association, butter production is down 27% compared to this time last year. 27%. And that's just the beginning. I spoke with a dairy economist who gave me a chilling forecast. Butter prices could double by June if current trends continue. Remember the butter shortages during the pandemic baking craze? That was mild compared to what's coming. And here's the kicker. Small dairy farms are shutting down fast, crushed by feed costs that have jumped 43% and energy prices that have nearly doubled. Some of these are multi-generational farms, in business since the Great Depression, now closing their doors in 2025. It's heartbreaking, and it's dangerous for our food system. So, what's replacing them? Massive corporate farms, buying up land and pushing out boutique producers. But those big operations focus on cheap, high-volume milk, not the European-style butter, organic yogurt, or specialty cheese many of us love. Once those small farms disappear, so does the high-quality dairy they produce. Here's what I've done. I've already frozen 2 pounds of butter, stocked my pantry with powdered milk, and switched to shelf-stable cream for recipes. It might sound overboard, but come holiday baking season, when people are searching everywhere for cream cheese or trying to find real Parmesan, you'll wish you'd done the same. One bright spot? Local farmers markets. They might become your lifeline. Small, independent producers who sell directly to shoppers are more insulated from corporate disruptions. Build those relationships now, before dairy becomes a luxury. Number 5. Imported fruits. The quiet disappearance. Have you walked into the produce section lately and thought, wait, where's the fruit? It's not your imagination. In the next few weeks, entire sections of your favorite grocery stores may look empty, not because of a storm, not because of panic buying, but because imported fruits are quietly vanishing. And almost no one is talking about it. Here's what's going on. Right now, the global fruit supply chain is getting hit from every angle. The shipping industry is still a mess. Congested ports, container shortages, high fuel prices. It's all slowing down deliveries from Central America, South Asia, and Africa. That juicy pineapple you used to toss in your cart, it might be sitting on a cargo ship, anchored off the coast, waiting days, even weeks to be processed. By the time it hits shelves, it's overripe or trashed. And there's more. New USDA and FDA regulations just kicked in, requiring extended inspections on certain imported fruits. Why? Rising risks of pests, pesticide contamination, and soil-borne diseases. These inspections add even more deadly delays, especially for delicate produce like kiwis, mangoes, and dragon fruit. Then there's the international trade shift. Countries like Mexico and Ecuador, which used to send huge volumes of fruit to the U.S., are now prioritizing exports to Europe and Asia, where they're getting better deals. That leaves American stores with less, and they're paying more to compete. The result? One major Texas grocery distributor just reported a 30% drop in imported fruit supply. Some smaller stores have already removed tropical fruit sections entirely. And for you, it means this. If bananas are part of your daily breakfast, or if you keep frozen mango for smoothies, now's the time to act. Some stores have already started adding purchase limits, and prices are climbing fast. A fruit that cost $2.99 last month? Now it's $4.59, and we're not even at peak summer demand yet. But this isn't just about fruit. This is a warning shot. Our year-round access to global produce is built on a fragile web of shipping, climate, labor, and trade deals. And that web, it's unraveling. Before April hits, take a look in your cart and ask yourself, will this even be here in 2 weeks? Number 4. Grain products. A crisis kneaded into your daily bread. Your morning toast. That comforting bowl of pasta. The crackers in your kid's lunchbox. They might all be gone before summer hits. Let me break it down. The global wheat supply is under siege from all sides. In Ukraine, exports have dropped 37% since last winter due to ongoing conflict. But it's not just war zones. Australia is facing its worst drought in 15 years. And in Canada, an aggressive fungal disease has wiped out nearly 20% of this season's crops. And just when we thought it couldn't get worse, 2 of North America's largest grain mills suddenly shut down. One of them? A Chicago facility that supplies 40% of the Midwest's flour, now running at half capacity due to equipment failures. They've started rationing deliveries to food companies. Let that sink in. When I checked prices yesterday, standard pasta had already jumped 32% since January. But here's the scarier part. It's not just about price anymore. It's about availability. Food industry analyst Maria Chen says we'll see entire pasta shapes vanish from shelves by April. First to go, artisan breads, imported pastas, and those specialty crackers you throw in the lunchbox. Even large-scale bread producers are telling stores they're cutting 40% of their product lines to focus on basics. That means your favorite multigrain loaf or gluten-free baguette. Say goodbye. Store managers are already in survival mode. One Kroger employee told me, "We're just told to make the current inventory last as long as possible." This isn't a temporary shortage. Agricultural forecasts show wheat production will stay 25% below demand until late 2025. That's more than a year of supply gaps and substitutions. So what can you do? Don't panic buy, but start gradually stocking up on pasta, flour, and shelf-stable bread products now. And maybe it's time to learn how to bake with alternative grains like spelt or buckwheat. Your future self will thank you when sandwich bread becomes a luxury. Number 3. Specialty cooking oils, vanishing by the bottle. We need to talk about cooking oils, because this situation is way worse than most people realize. It's not just olive oil anymore. Avocado oil. Remember when you could grab it without thinking? Those days are over. According to Agrich Monitor, production has dropped 43% in just 3 months, due to Mexico's worst drought in 30 years. California producers can't fill the gap, and restaurants are hoarding the supply, leaving retail shelves empty. But it gets worse. Sesame oil, a staple in countless kitchens, is in full-blown crisis. 2 major processing plants in India shut down last month over contamination concerns. Add in new inspection rules at ports, and now shipments are stuck. Prices have already spiked 28%, with no ceiling in sight. Some grocery chains are already rationing cooking oil. 1 bottle per customer is becoming a common sign. When's the last time you saw that? And then there's grapeseed oil and walnut oil. Total chaos. Grapeseed oil was once a byproduct of winemaking, but now wineries are struggling with labor shortages and climate hits, pushing supply to crisis levels. Prices have tripled in some places. And walnuts? A devastating new fungal disease is tearing through California's orchards. Experts say recovery will take years. In the meantime, I'm hearing more stories like this one from Sarah, a mom of 3 in Ohio. I went to 4 different stores looking for the walnut oil I need for my son's special diet. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This isn't just about cooking. It's about health and access. So, what can you do right now? 1. Grab cold-pressed sunflower oil while you still can. Production hasn't been hit as hard yet. It's great for high-heat cooking and has a neutral flavor. 2. Don't overlook rice bran oil. It has a high smoke point, a neutral taste, and a shelf life of up to 2 years. Plus, it's packed with antioxidants. 3. And here's the surprising twist. Animal fats are making a comeback. Yep, lard, tallow, and duck fat. They're more stable when heated. They don't oxidize like some vegetable oils. And they're becoming easier to find at farmers markets and specialty stores. Plus, many nutritionists now say they're healthier than we thought. Oh, and one last thing nobody's talking about? Coconut oil supplies are still stable. It's not ideal for everything, but for baking, sautéing, or even skincare, it might become your MVP in the kitchen. Number 2. Frozen foods. The cold truth about what's disappearing. Let's talk about frozen foods, because what's happening behind the scenes is about to hit your freezer hard. Retail giants like Walmart and Kroger have already begun cutting freezer space by 23%. Why? To offset skyrocketing energy costs. I saw it myself just last week. Whole aisles where freezers used to be, gone. But that's only the beginning. 3 major frozen food production plants in the Midwest shut down last month. Why? Because critical equipment parts are stuck on cargo ships halfway around the world. No parts, no processing. And the first to vanish? The everyday staples. Green Giant and Bird's Eye just announced they're cutting 40% of their frozen veggie lines before summer. That's your broccoli, cauliflower rice, stir-fry blends, gone. Frozen pizzas like DiGiorno and Tombstone? Their production has dropped by 35%, thanks to the ongoing cheese crisis we talked about earlier. But here's what really made my jaw drop. Tyson Foods. Yes, the company behind those frozen chicken nuggets and fish sticks has officially shifted priorities to fresh meat. Their frozen product line will be cut in half before April. If you're a parent, this hits hard. Those quick, reliable frozen meals? They may not be there when you need them most. This isn't a temporary glitch. Between packaging shortages, transport delays, and the sky-high cost of flash freezing, experts say we're looking at a permanent shift in the frozen food landscape. Here's what you can do now. Stock up on frozen staples your family depends on. Now, not later. Focus on items with long shelf lives: veggies, prepared meals, breads, and proteins. Consider investing in a small chest freezer, if you can find one. Because once those empty shelves hit your store, restocks won't come quickly, or at all. Number 1. Canned foods, the shelf-stable staples in serious trouble. And finally, number 1, and it affects every single household: canned foods. From vegetables and meats to soups, beans, and even evaporated milk, canned goods are a pantry essential. But right now, they're in the crosshairs of a massive supply crisis. Here's what's happening. The U.S. just imposed a 25% tariff on imported aluminum and steel. That might sound technical, but it's a devastating blow to the companies that make the cans your food comes in. It gets worse. Nearly 70% of the tin plate steel used to manufacture food cans in the U.S. is imported. These tariffs are causing costs to skyrocket, and small regional canneries, they can't afford it. Some have scaled back, others have shut down altogether. Add to that labor shortages, rising fuel costs, unreliable transportation pipelines. It's a triple threat. A senior executive at a major canning company recently told me, "It's not just about making the cans. It's about having the people, the parts, and the trucks to move them. And right now, we don't have any of the 3. The result? Delays, especially in rural areas, where deliveries happen less often and inventory turns over slowly. Most vulnerable, the everyday staples we all take for granted: canned green beans, corn, peas and carrots, chili, soups and stews, canned tuna, salmon, and chicken. Even pantry must-haves like evaporated milk and baked beans. For some families, these aren't just backup foods. They're daily essentials, and prices are already creeping up. In some areas, canned vegetable prices have risen by 15% in just the past 2 months, and analysts are projecting steeper hikes by early summer. Even if manufacturers manage to ramp up production later this year, they're warning that restocks will lag, especially during seasonal demand spikes or emergencies. Here's your move. Start adding a few extra cans to every grocery trip today. Focus on high-protein items like beans, chili, meats, and soups. Rotate your stock to keep it fresh, and don't wait until shelves are stripped bare. Because let's be real, when panic hits, these cans will disappear faster than concert tickets on release day. And you don't want to be the one staring at an empty aisle, wondering what your family is going to eat tonight. So, what can you do now? Let's be clear. Don't panic. Prepare. Here's how to stay ahead of these shortages without blowing your budget. Out of olive oil. Swap in avocado or sunflower oil. They're versatile, widely available, and great for most cooking. Coffee crisis. Skip the grocery chains and buy directly from small roasters online. They often have stock when big retailers don't. Or try tea alternatives. Many offer that same morning kick. Seafood shortage. Stock up on frozen options now. If properly sealed, they'll last for months and save you from skyrocketing prices later. Chocolate cravings. Check out your local chocolatiers. Many use different supply chains than the big brands, and you'll be supporting a small business too. Dairy dilemma? Experiment with plant-based alternatives, or try making your own simple cheeses at home. It's easier than you think. Smart shopping tips. Shop Tuesday or Wednesday mornings. Stores restock overnight, and foot traffic is lighter. Better selection, less stress. Store your dry goods smart. Invest in airtight containers for flour, pasta, and grains. They'll last way longer. Learn basic canning. It's a game changer for keeping fruits and veggies shelf-stable when prices spike or fresh options vanish. And most importantly, buy what you'll actually use. You don't need 50 cans of something you barely eat. Be smart, not scared. Quick recap. Here are the 10 grocery items that may vanish before April. 1. Olive oil. 2. Coffee. 3. Select seafood. 4. Specialty chocolate. 5. Dairy products. 6. Imported fruits. 7. Certain grain products. 8. Specialty cooking oils. 9. Frozen foods. 10. Canned goods. But here's the good news. Humans are adaptable. We've faced shortages before and found creative solutions every time. You will too. Drop a comment below and let me know your strategy for staying ahead of the curve. Are you stocking up? Finding clever swaps? I read every single comment. Hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. 5 high-yield vegetables you can grow in tiny spaces. Perfect for beating the summer produce shortages. Stay smart, stay ready, stay positive. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Punjay.